Hi, welcome back to Cheyenne, Wyoming, Urban Gardener. This is Debbie, and you're looking at some fresh, hot salsa verde. We have put in all of our ingredients out of the garden and just canned it up, and we used the recipe from the Ball canning book with some little modifications, such as I used my Big Jim's peppers and also some jalapenos instead of chilies. And I put way more onion in mine because we really like onion. And we doubled the recipe. Still, even with doubling the recipe, we only ended up with 5.5 pints because the Ball recipe book states that it makes 3 pints. So we just doubled it and it still only ended up with 5.5 pints. That'll be plenty for us because we don't eat very much salsa verde. So there you have it. Just pulled them fresh out of the canner. And they're getting ready to pop. Temperatures here have dropped, by the way. They have gone down to the lower 60s with lows in the 40s. And then in a couple of days, we're going to be down in the 50s with lows at 39. So a lot of things are finishing up in the garden, except for our brassicas. Those are still going strong, and our lettuces. And I went ahead and harvested some of our cinnamon basil today. This is the seeds, so we can harvest those and save these for seed for next season. So we have loads of seeds in here. If you look really close, you can see the little seeds inside each one of those pods. And then we also saved the seed when we were doing our salsa verde from our peppers. We've got some jalapeno pepper seed here, as well as my Big Jim's pepper seeds here. And we also collected some snapdragon seeds today, and several other different varieties of seeds, lettuce seeds and zinnia seeds and cosmos, all kinds of things. And we just got our last cantaloupe of the season. Just came off the vine today, so you can see right there that it is ready. Just slipped right off the vine. And this is a Sharon Tay Cantaloupe. We're going to cut into this and enjoy it. Meantime, let's head out in the garden and see what's left. If you notice something a little strange, you're looking at a Mandarin orange tree. This is a tree that is about 2 years old now, and it is really slow to come to fruition, so to say, or to start flowering and having oranges on it. And I did have 2, but I went ahead and gave one to a lady who came and really liked that I had Mandarin oranges, so she took one of them. So this is a Mandarin orange tree. And like I said, it's about 2 years old now, about 2 seasons old, not quite 2 years old. It's about a year old, to be honest. So there it is. It really took off this season and all of the heat that we had through the summer, and we'll be taking that inside very shortly. We still have loads of cilantro, and it is going to seed right now. So we are seeing some little tiny, I call them just like green balls of seeds. So those are happening right now on this cilantro, and you can tell that it is bloomed all over, so it's going to be covered with seeds pretty soon. That is, if it does get a chance to finish out and the coolness just doesn't take it over. And then we've got our hibiscus here still. They're weathering the temperatures, to be very honest, quite nicely and still blooming like crazy. So we'll be taking those inside very soon. But a lot of the plants that we had in September, because this is now October, surprisingly enough, it's October 2nd. A lot of those have weathered over, and we still have our Tahitian squash in around the corn, and that is finishing up. So we do have one that has already finished out, looks like a butternut right now, and a couple others still have some stripes on them, but they're also changing color, so they are getting matured out. So looking forward to that. And we do have more zinnias that are blooming out here. They're still enjoying what little bit of heat we have left. But it is quite cool today. And our bee balm is blooming again. It bloomed in the spring. This was a distressed one that I picked up at Lowe's. Transplanted it, took care of it, and it is blooming again. We're also collecting Celosia seeds. And there's more zinnias blooming. Look at these. This one is enormous, this red one. And then so is this yellow one. I was really looking forward to some yellow zinnias, so I'm glad that at least we have a few. And then we still have our Kellogg's breakfast tomatoes out here. But I think that when the temperatures are dipping down to the point of nearly frosting, we'll need to go ahead and pull the tomatoes off of these because they will not grow anymore when it is that cool. But it looks like we have one that's starting to get a little color on it anyway. And then we pulled some nice big lemon cucumbers off today. And then we still have some other squash that's still coming on too, like the Geese squash. There's one right there. And there was actually a couple more that just started and a butternut that just started. And we still did some planting. I mean, we've still got weather that can withstand, or seeds that can withstand the cool. So we did plant some rutabagas and some turnips all through here. And this was where the potatoes were that we dug out. And honestly, digging around in here, I'm still finding potatoes. So I took a couple more in the house when I was digging this. And I just went ahead and stuck a few potatoes in the ground just because. And these were the ones that were green. So I just stuck them in there. They probably won't do anything, but you never know. We may hold on to not having frost until December. I've seen it happen before here. But anyway, that is the back side of what is left of the corn and all of that. And we have asters that are blooming right now, which are really, really pretty. They took a long time to bloom, but they are finally blooming. And we have all different colors in there. And we still have our yellow pear tomatoes still going strong. And like I said, I will leave everything out here until the very last moment. If we get any warning of having some frost, I'll be yanking everything off of there and taking it inside to finish out ripening. I'm really hoping to get some seed off of that celosia that looks like the brain. And I moved my lavender over here, and it seems to like it a lot better because it's really taken off now. And we'll be taking that inside as well through the winter. I did transplant a few basil, and they're doing very well, and I'll probably take those inside for the through the winter basil. I didn't really start any new basil seed recently, so that'll be what we take inside for winter, as well as this one right here. And I think we'll go ahead and take these in as well, these very unique ones. And then our dahlias are still blooming like crazy, and I need to get the roots up so that way we can save those for next season. But I just didn't want to do that yet because they have bloomed all the way around now and are just looking absolutely gorgeous. And then, of course, we still have some tomatillos out here. I just made the salsa verde and used all the tomatillos that I have. But we have more coming on. And hopefully those will get a chance to finish out. And the lemon tree is still out here as well. And you can see it's doing just fine. And there is the cinnamon basil that I just clipped the seeds from that I showed you a short time ago. And we still have the huge tomatoes out here from Suburban Homestead or Wyoming / Arizona. And they do have a couple of tomatoes on them, as well as they are blooming and setting more fruit. As you just saw, we had a bee go through. It was a bumblebee, and they're still pollinating. They're still flying around. So as long as we've got that going on, we'll leave these out here as long as we can. And hopefully we'll get something, but I doubt it. It's just too darn close. And those are just so big that I cannot take them inside. And they won't do anything inside anyway. We've tried that experiment before. No matter what you've got going on. Grow lights and all of that. And there's the other yellow pear tomatoes, still growing strong, still blooming, still putting on tomatoes. So basically we have still everything out here that we had in September, even though it's October. But a lot of things are growing a lot better now that it is cooler, such as our cabbages and some of our vegetables and fruits and trees that just were so, I guess, aggravated with all of the heat that we had. They were still doing strong, but they just seemed to like a little bit of a break from all of that as well. So they have kind of picked up and started growing like crazy. In fact, I've even got another Armenian cucumber coming on right over there. You can see it. And we have more Royal Burgundy beans that are coming on, but I need them to finish out and kind of dry up so that way we can collect seed on those. I've collected seed on all of our beans except for the Royal Burgundy bush beans and the Contender bush beans, because they have just continued to produce, and the ones that are on there haven't really filled out enough or dried up enough to collect from. I did get some Kentucky Wonder Pole beans, but still there's more on here and I need more. But they're still, as you can see, even though they're full of beans, they're still just very green right now. So looks like we might have one that just finished out or will be finishing out. So hopefully we'll get to collect those and save some more seed. So hopefully you're saving seed if you're growing a garden this year, because we don't know if we'll be able to get decent seeds next season or not. So there we have a couple of more of the half runners that we're waiting to finish out, and we will take those in and shell and save those for seed. We've got a few more on there, in fact, that we'll need to do that with. So we've got quite a lot of seed for those saved already, but I will always accept more. And we still have our giant oxheart tomatoes out here, and those are finishing out. And I'll pull them if I have to and finish them out inside. And we still have a lot of blooms, like Cosmos. And this calendula over here that came up by itself, just one, has blooms all over it, has seeded very well. And I might try that next season of just spacing them out a little bit and just letting them bush out quite a bit. So I liked that. And we still have roses and nasturtiums back there. And like I said, lots and lots of blooms. Still going strong even though it's cooler. And collards. And still plenty of peppers. And still have our celery out here. And our cauliflower is starting to head up, as I'd shown you in the previous video. And we've got 3 broccoli left, and all of this cabbage is heading up very nicely. You can see that one right over there. Quite nice. So anyway, that's what all is going on still in the garden, and still processing a bunch of things. But like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for notices on new videos as they come out. Look at that, we still have beans. And we'll see you in the next one.